will be presented by Superintendent Jonathan Ko, Officer in charge of GTA Integrated Operations. A French version of these statements will be provided by Inspector Yannick Hamel, where applicable. Following these statements, we will open up the floor for questions in both English and French. If you're tuning in via live stream and you'd like to ask a question, please use the raise hand feature and wait to be called upon. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that this land that we gather today on has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning. As settlers, we're grateful for the opportunity to meet here, and we thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Long before today, there have been Indigenous peoples who have been stewards of this place. In particular, we acknowledge the Wendat, Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and we also acknowledge the Chippewa of Georgian First Nations as our close neighbors and friends. I'll return here in about 5 minutes. Thank you. That set a tone, didn't it? Good morning and thank you for attending. I'd like to invite Chief Superintendent Chris Leather to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. I'm pleased to welcome you today to share the results of a recent RCMP Central Region Integrated Synthetic Enforcement Team investigation known as Project Overboil. As a result of this operation, the RCMP, working closely with several partners, successfully dismantled a large-scale synthetic drug lab in Schomberg, Ontario. Superintendent Jonathan Ko, the officer in charge of organized crime, beside me here, will provide specific details of the investigation shortly. I'd like to take a moment to emphasize what makes this operation significant. While it involved the seizure of millions of dollars worth of suspected controlled substances, and cash, the true importance lies in the fact that we removed a synthetic drug lab and neutralized thousands of liters of hazardous waste. In doing so, we prevented the future production of millions of dollars worth of synthetic drugs, protected our communities from harm, and averted a potentially dangerous public safety incident posed by the unsafe storage of dangerous chemicals. This investigation reflects a growing national trend, the rise of synthetic opioid production within Canada. Law enforcement and public health agencies are seeing more domestic labs, greater chemical sophistication, and a shift from the importation to in-country manufacturing of potent synthetic drugs. Preventing future labs begins with intelligence sharing and vigilance, including tighter controls of precursor chemicals, stronger data sharing among agencies, and rapid action when suspicious activity surfaces. Sometimes these labs come to light because neighbors notice unusual chemical smells, covered windows, activities at odd hours. When the public reports behavior such as this, it gives law enforcement an early lead that can save lives and prevent serious harm. The RCMP encourages anyone who suspects a drug lab in their community to report it to local police or to Crime Stoppers. Finally, I want to extend our sincere thanks to our partner agencies, including the Ontario Provincial Police, Niagara Regional Police, York Regional Police, South Simcoe Police, the Office of the Ontario Fire Marshal, King City Fire and Emergency Services, Health Canada, the Ministry of the Environment and Canada Border Services Agency for their outstanding collaboration in this complex, large-scale investigation. Inspector ML will now provide my remarks in French, and Chief Superintendent Matt Bertrand will take the microphone after that to provide a national perspective. Thank you.
Je suis heureux de vous accueillir aujourd'hui pour vous présenter le résultat d'une récente enquête de l'équipe intégrée de la lutte contre la drogue synthétique de la région du centre de la GRC. À l'issue de cette opération, la GRC, qui a travaillé étroitement en collaboration avec plusieurs partenaires, a réussi à démanteler un laboratoire qui produisait des drogues synthétiques à grande échelle de Stockholm en Ontario. Le superintendant Jonathan Ko, officier responsable de la lutte contre le crime organisé, vous fournira sous peu des détails précis sur l'enquête. J'aimerais prendre un moment pour souligner l'importance de cette opération. Même si elle nous a fourni de saisir des présumées substances contrôlées et de l'argent d'une valeur en chiffrant de millions de dollars, la véritable importance de l'opération réside dans le fait que nous avons démantelé un laboratoire de drogues synthétiques et neutralisé de milliers de litres de déchets dangereux. Nous avons ici empêché la production future de drogues synthétiques d'une valeur se comptant en millions de dollars, protégé notre collectivité et éviter un incident de sécurité publique causé dans l'entrepage non sécuritaire de produits dangereux. L'enquête reflète une tendance nationale croissante, l'augmentation de la production d'opioïdes synthétiques au Canada. Les organismes d'application de la loi et de la santé publique constatent un nombre accru du nombre de laboratoires au pays, des capacités chimiques de plus en plus sophistiquées et une transition de l'importance de la fabrication nationale de drogues synthétiques puissantes. La prévention de l'apparition de futurs laboratoires commence par la mise en commun de renseignements et de la vigilance, ce qui inclut le contrôle resserré des précurseurs chimiques et le meilleur partage de données entre les organismes et des interventions rapides lorsque les activités suspectes sont découvertes. Parfois, des laboratoires sont découverts parce que des voisins remarquent des odeurs chimiques inhabituelles, des fenêtres couvertes ou des activités à des heures inhabituelles. Lorsque le public signale un comportement suspect, il donne aux organismes d'application de la loi des indices précoces qui peuvent sauver des vies et prévenir des préjudices graves. La GRC encourage quiconque soupçonner la présence de laboratoires de drogue dans leur collectivité à le signaler à son service de police locale ou à l'échec du crime. Enfin, je tiens à remercier sincèrement nos organismes partenaires, notamment la police provinciale de l'Ontario, le service de police de la région de Niagara, le service de police de la région régionale de York, le service de police de Sept, Simcoe, le commissaire de l'incendie de l'Ontario, le service d'incendie et d'urgence de King, Santé Canada, le ministère de l'Environnement et l'Agence Services frontaliers du Canada, de leur collaboration exceptionnelle dans le cadre de l'enquête complexe à grande échelle. Le superintendant principal, Mathieu Bertrand, va maintenant prendre le microphone pour présenter une perspective nationale.
Good morning. Bon matin. I am Chief Superintendent Matt Bertrand, Director General of Serious and Organized Crime at the RCMP. I am pleased to be here today alongside our Ontario RCMP and law enforcement colleagues to highlight the collaboration that led to today's announcement. A successful operation such as this one to dismantle a large-scale synthetic drug lab takes time, dedication, and multiple agencies working together. Soyons clairs, la GRC est déterminée à perturber le commerce illégal de drogue et à protéger les citoyens contre les substances illicites. Grâce au budget 2023, la GRC a reçu 42 millions sur 5 ans pour renforcer sa capacité à lutter contre le trafic de drogue et le crime organisé, notamment en détournant les précurseurs chimiques et en combattant le blanchiment d'argent. The RCMP also works closely with source countries to address the flow of precursors and essential chemicals into Canada. Domestically, the RCMP runs the National Chemical Precursor Diversion Program, which works with Canadian industry stakeholders to prevent chemicals from being misused. The RCMP also operates clandestine laboratory enforcement and response and integrated synthetic enforcement teams across the country. Ces équipes ciblent les laboratoires clandestins de drogue et offrent un soutien spécialisé aux services de police locaux pour les détecter et les démanteler. En collaboration avec ses partenaires, la GRC utilise l'analyse des tendances et les renseignements pour répondre aux nouvelles méthodes dès leur apparition. Grâce à ces informations, nous avons démantelé un total de 50 laboratoires clandestins de drogue depuis le 1er janvier 2024. Together with partners, the RCMP is using trend analysis and intelligence to address new methods as they crop up. With this information in hand, We have dismantled a total of 50 clandestine drug laboratories since January 1st, 2024. Project Overboil is a clear example of how agencies working together can successfully prevent a significant quantity of potentially deadly substances from reaching our communities. Thank you to all involved for your collaboration, and congratulations on an impressive operation. Merci beaucoup. I pass it on to Superintendent John Ko and take this opportunity to thank him and his brave and dedicated employees for their successful operation. Merci.
Thank you, Chief Bertrand. Good morning, and I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. We're here to talk about the successful dismantling of a clandestine laboratory, one that resulted in the removal of millions of dollars worth of drugs, chemicals, and hazardous materials from our streets. The arrest of 3 individuals and the seizure of numerous items represents a significant disruption to the illegal drug trade in Canada. This investigation began through careful information gathering. At first, each piece of intelligence seemed small, at least on their own. But once the investigators connected the dots, they were led to take a closer look at a company named O'Quinn Industries. I can tell you that one of the red flags was a 3-year hiatus in purchasing suspicious chemicals, followed by a resumption purchasing large quantities. These substances can be used to produce fentanyl, MDMA, methamphetamines, and other synthetic drugs. In late July 2025, RCMP teams, including the Border Integrity Criminal Intelligence Section and the Integrated Synthetic Enforcement Team and the Transnational Serious and Organized Crime Team, began investigating individuals suspected of producing synthetic and illicit drugs. The investigation led us to an address in Schomberg, Ontario, which revealed an active clandestine laboratory as well as a secondary storage site in Port Colborne. On Sunday, September 7th, 2025, search warrants were executed at both locations with the assistance of our tactical teams. As a result of the search warrant, officers seized nearly $10 million worth of suspected controlled substances, including MDMA, GHB, methamphetamines, weighing at approximately 239 kilograms of finished product, approximately $8,000 in Canadian currency, other chemicals commonly used in illicit drug production, including sodium hydroxide, acetone, methanol, hydrochloric acid, and dichloromethane, and potassium chloride. Drug manufacturing equipment and materials such as pill presses, mixers, chemical and drug recipes, pill press stamps and dyes, air purifying respirators, laboratory glassware, hydroelectric shells or sleeves, and 3 rotary evaporators with condenser units. 2 other firearms were also located at the locations, including 2 prohibited shotgun magazines, and approximately 20,000 liters of hazardous waste was safely removed from the site. It took 10 days to safely dismantle this laboratory. At this stage, there is no evidence of fentanyl, nor any indication that the products were destined outside of Canada. In total, 3 individuals were arrested and charged, facing 33 charges as of September 9th, 2025. The charged persons are Christopher O'Quinn, and the charges are related to drug production, trafficking, and weapons offenses. Liang Gao, charges related to illegal production and trafficking of controlled substances, and Katie King, related to drug trafficking and firearms charges. I am extremely proud of the impressive teamwork that made these arrests possible. The swift, coordinated actions and successful outcomes like this are only possible through strong collaboration and trust between agencies. Our collective expertise, information sharing, and unified commitment to public safety ensure the complex criminal networks are identified and dismantled effectively. The RCMP is deeply grateful for the professionalism, dedication, and support of each one of our partners. Their cooperation reflects a shared responsibility we all hold in keeping our community safe and secure. Thank you, and I will turn over to Inspector Yannick Hamel, who will deliver the statement in French.
Avant toute chose, j'aimerais remercier chacun et chacune d'entre vous parmi vous aujourd'hui et vous souhaiter la bienvenue. Nous sommes ici pour parler d'un démantèlement réussi d'un laboratoire clandestin. Ce démantèlement a permis de retirer de nos rues des drogues, des produits chimiques et des matières dangereuses d'une valeur se chiffrant en millions de dollars. L'arrestation de 3 personnes et la saisie de nombreux articles représentant une perturbation importante du commerce de drogue illicite au Canada. L'enquête a commencé par une collecte de renseignements minutieuse. Au début, chacun de ces renseignements semblait petit et sans importance, du moins par lui-même. Cependant, après avoir établi certains liens, les enquêteurs ont été amenés à se pencher de plus près sur l'entreprise nommée Oakwind Industries. Je peux vous dire que l'un de ces signaux d'alarme a été une interruption de 3 ans d'achat de produits chimiques suspects servis à reprise de ces achats en grande quantité. Les substances en question peuvent être utilisées pour produire du fentanyl, du MDMA et de méthamphétamine ainsi que des traitements à l'extraction du cannabis. À la fin de juillet 2025, des équipes spécialisées de la GRC, dont la section de renseignement criminel, de l'intégrité des frontières, l'équipe intégrée de lutte contre les drogues synthétiques et le groupe de lutte transnationale contre le crime organisé et grave, ont commencé à enquêter sur des personnes soupçonnées de produire des drogues synthétiques ou illicites. Ces vérifications nous ont amenés à une adresse située à Schomberg, en Ontario, où se trouvait un lab clandestin actif. Ils nous ont permis de découvrir un lieu d'entreposage secondaire à Port Colborne. Le dimanche 7 septembre 2025, des mandats de perquisition ont été exécutés à ces 2 endroits. Lors de l'exécution des mandats de perquisition, les agents ont saisi ce qui suit: des présumées substances contrôlées, dont de la MDMA, du GHB et de la méthamphétamine d'une valeur près de 10 millions de dollars, ont représenté environ 239 kg de produits finis. Environ 8 000 $ en monnaie canadienne. Des produits chimiques couramment utilisés dans la production de drogues illicites, y compris de l'hydroxyde de sodium, de l'acétone, de méthanol, du dichlorométhane et de l'acide chlorhydrique, de la soude caustique et du chlorure de potassium. De l'équipement et du matériel de fabrication de drogue comme des presses à comprimer et des mélangeurs, des compositions chimiques, des procédés de fabrication de drogue, des poinçons et matrices de presse à comprimer, des appareils de protection respiratoire à lubrificateur d'air, des articles de laboratoire en verre, des tamis hydroélectriques et 3 évaporateurs rotatifs avec condensateur. Des armes à feu, y compris 2 chargeurs de fusils de chasse prohibés. Environ 20 000 litres de déchets dangereux ont été retirés des lieux en toute sécurité. Il y a fallu 10 jours pour démanteler le laboratoire en toute sécurité. À ce stade, il n'y a aucune indication de la production de fentanyl, ni aucune indication que les produits étaient destinés à l'extérieur du Canada. Au total, 3 personnes ont été arrêtées et accusées et elles font face à 33 chefs d'accusation au 9 septembre 2025. Christopher O'Quinn, 20 chefs d'accusation relatifs à la production et au trafic de drogue et aux armes. Lixian Ko, 9 chefs d'accusation relatifs à la production illégale et le trafic de substances contrôlées. Cathy King, 4 chefs d'accusation relatifs au trafic de drogue et aux armes à feu. Je suis extrêmement fier de l'impressionnant travail d'équipe qui a rendu ces arrestations possibles. Des actions rapides et coordonnées à des succès de ce genre ne sont pas possibles à la condition qu'il y a une collaboration étroite et une grande confiance entre les organismes. Nos expertises collectives, la mise en commun des renseignements et notre détermination partagée à assurer la sécurité publique permettent de mettre à mise à jour, démanteler efficacement des réseaux criminels complexes. La JRC est profondément reconnaissante pour le professionnalisme, le dévouement et le soutien de chacun de ses partenaires. Leur coopération témoigne de la responsabilité commune que nous avons à tous d'assurer la sécurité de notre collectivité. Merci. Notre présenteur, le caporal Andrew McCartney, dirigera la suite de la séance de questions et réponses. Merci.
Thank you, Superintendent Ko. Thank you, Inspector Hamel. We'll now conduct a short question and answer portion. We ask that you ask one question with a follow-up if needed. You're welcome to ask your question in either English or French. Again, for those on the live stream, if you'd like to ask a question, please use the raise hand feature. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, Mercedes Baston-Bide, CBC News. Did any of these people that you arrested have prior arrests or drug trafficking charges that you know of?
Yes, Mr. O'Quinn had a criminal record in the past. The other 2, we do not have any record of any criminal history.
Okay, and then a follow-up question, how long do you believe they were operating?
They were operating by the amount of disposal or the chemicals. I would say they were operating for some significant period of time.
Sir.
Mike Lang from CTV News in Barrie. So, thank you. We have a lot of drug busts and police raids at numerous properties in like a large region in central Ontario. But what got the RCMP involved in this particular investigation?
Like I had mentioned before, it was a suspicious purchase of some chemicals, and the RCMP get information from the public, businesses, and we collate all that information to come with where we went with this investigation.
And follow-up question, sorry. And just again, what was What was the partners in Simcoe County, so South Simcoe Police and OPP, not, I think the Nottawasaga Detachment, how were they involved and assisting with the investigation?
This investigation, like had been mentioned earlier, is that the collaboration of all the police services right across the province. They all took different roles in this investigation, whether it be site security, intelligence gathering, etc. So I can't get into the specific roles of what exactly they did, but it was a collaboration of all the police services coming together.
Yes, Mercedes.
Yeah, so, oh, sorry. Could you just tell us a bit more about maybe the circumstances of the operation? Was it a house that they were operating out of?
The location was in Schomberg, Ontario, north of Toronto. It was a large acreage property. There was a residential residence on the property, plus a separate outbuilding where the laboratory was being operated.
And you mentioned another off-site area as well where what was going on there? Drugs were being stored.
The location in Port Colborne was a storage site for chemicals.
And just confirm the address in Schomberg, was it 102920 Side Road?
I don't have the exact address with me. We can follow up and give you the exact address.
I can follow up on that, Mike.
Were all three of the arrested on the premises during this?
Mr. O'Quinn and Mr. Gow were arrested on the at the Schomberg address, and Ms. King was arrested in Port Colborne.
Sorry, lastly, just where were the suspects from? Again, you didn't mention it.
They were in the area of Port Colborne.
Like, were they like originally from Port Colborne, or were they from Toronto or from Simcoe County? Like, what was their place of residence?
Mr. King was residing in Port Colborne. Mr. Gow, I don't have an exact residential location for him.
Was there anything perhaps out of the ordinary with this operation? Was it, perhaps advanced in any way? Anything to note there?
I can say that it was a large-scale lab. From the outside, it didn't look anything suspicious, as the homeowners did have no recollection or no idea that there was a lab occurring on their property. So it was very discreet, is the best way I can put it.
Were they renting the property from the owners?
Yes, they were.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you so much for attending. This concludes our press conference. Have a good day.